And just to remind you, if you'd like the viewing congregation to pray for you, you can phone the prayer line on 071 757 7117, where an answering machine will be taking calls for the next 24 hours. And that address mentioned is This Is the Day, BBC Television Centre, London W12 7RJ. Tonight at 6:25, Songs of Praise visits Britain's newest cathedral of St Mary and St Helen in Brentwood, Essex. Martin Bashir talks with the locals about the importance of prayer in their lives. Now on BBC One, more topical information from Clive Mason and the team in See Here.
Hello, if you've bought an NCI Caption reader to watch subtitled videos at home, you may have had problems getting it to work. I did. In a minute, we'll be getting a full explanation of how to do it. But first, you may have read in British Deaf News or Disability Now about Derek Aitchison from Nottingham, who won a major award from the Red Cross for not one, but 2 acts of bravery. BBC News in the East Midlands reported on the story. As it was only shown on a regional basis and unsubtitled, we have the very film to show you.
Derek Aitchison got more exercise than he bargained for on one of his runs in Woollerton Park last year. PC Jim Brough had been on patrol nearby when he was attacked by 4 drunken youths. When he saw the policeman in trouble, Mr Aitchison's reaction was instant.
A couple of them tried to jump on the policeman. I saw one fall over on the policeman, the other one tried to kick him in the head. I immediately intervened and stopped the one kicking him in the head and held the other one while the policeman called for help.
He changed to hold them away and tried to calm them down, and was very brave until some other policemen arrived to help me.
What do you think might have happened if Derek hadn't been there?
Well, I certainly could have been quite nastily injured, especially if somebody had managed to kick me in the back of the head.
3 people were arrested, 1 went to prison for 18 months. At the Royal Albert Hall last night, Derek got the recognition he deserved for such action. But it's not the first time he's intervened in a crisis, according to George Reynolds from Nottinghamshire's Deaf Society.
He also helped a man that was trying to commit suicide. He went to his car, switched off the engine, sought help, then gave him first aid treatment. Derek showed himself to be very brave and very responsible.
The award has a special significance for Derek. His own brother was shot and killed while working as a policeman in York 10 years ago.
I feel very proud of what I've been able to do. I never thought I'd be given an award for the action I did. I just thought naturally of doing it. I'm very sad that my brother was killed, and I'll never forget that.
PC Brough's back on duty, none the worse for wear, thanks to the intervention of this kind-hearted troubleshooter, the sort of citizen every policeman hopes to have around when things turn nasty.
Well, congratulations, Derek. That really was marvellous. Now, when you saw these 4 youths attacking PC Brough, I mean, that was obviously a dangerous thing to do, to get involved. I mean, what made you do it? How did you do it? Well, while I was running, I stopped just to take a rest. And I saw this policeman approaching these 4 lads. And I just thought, this must have been what it was like for my brother. And I got a bit upset about that. And I felt that they were going to attack him, and I just ran and tried to stop them. Now, what were you saying about your brother? What happened? Well, when I was younger, my brother was actually in the police. He was a policeman. He was a detective. And he was shot by someone. And apparently my brother was walking through town in York. And he saw a man and wanted a word with him because of what was going on, and called him over, and this man turned round and quickly just shot my brother. Now, you know you got the award for saving the policeman, but there's another act of bravery as well. Tell me about that one. Well, I was driving my car home one night, and I saw another car stopped with a man kind of rocking backwards and forwards inside it. So I got out of my car and went to have a look, and realised it was somebody trying to kill himself. He had a pipe in his mouth leading from the exhaust pipe of his car. So I ran over, yanked the door open, pulled the pipe out of his mouth, and he then fell out of the car. So I thought, what shall I do? And I saw a man walking by, and I asked him to come and help me. And we arranged a phone for the police to come, and this apparently saved his life, because I took the pipe out of his mouth. I think that man was probably very lucky you were passing by. Now, when you actually received this award, this Red Cross award, Caring Crisis Award, how did you actually feel when you were in the Albert Hall and it was being handed over? I mean, what happened just before that? Well, I went to Cambridge for the East Midlands Awards, and there were 3 people involved with me, and they picked one of us to go to the kind of final award presentation. And I was told it was going to be me, and that was a big surprise, because it was going to be the Princess of Wales, I mean, who's, you know, someone much higher than I am. And I arrived at the gala evening, and it was packed with people, and it was like a football match. I mean, people were so excited. Well, I felt really proud, and I met the princess, shook hands with her, she gave me the award, the bust and the certificate, and I felt great. Thanks very much, Derek. Because of his brave action, PC Brough was not seriously injured, and he was back immediately on duty. As it says in the clip, this is the sort of citizen every policeman hopes to have around when things turn nasty.
It's 8 years now since we told you on See Here about the gift of a derelict barn in Derbyshire, which was to be turned into an outdoor pursuit centre for deaf people. Well, it's now geared up to cater for people of all ages, but not many of us seem to know about it. It's a pity that such a brilliant place in a lovely setting should be underused. So take a look at this, and maybe I'll see you there one weekend.
The centre is managed by the Royal School for the Deaf in Derby, which is a non-maintained school for the deaf, which means that we're a non-profit making charity. So all our income really is derived from groups and users of the centre. The School for the Deaf in Derby raised the money for the conversion from what essentially was a building that needed a great deal of work to it at the outset, to the kind of building which you see today. The group we've got this week is a group from the School for the Deaf in Derby, all boys. They're just like any other boys, loud sometimes, they're naughty sometimes, they're great sometimes, they're just good to work with. The Duxbone is situated on the southern edge of the main Chatsworth Park estate. We're also on the southern edge of the Peak District National Park. We've got access to the farms, the woodland, the lakes. So for field work and for outdoor pursuits activities, we've got a vast area. really hard to fall out, so don't worry about falling out. If you do fall out, the water is a little bit cold. In fact, it's a lot cold. Don't worry. It'll be shock. But don't be frightened, because you've got this that will help you. And the water's not very deep. You have to stand in the water.
When the weather is fine and you know it's a sign we're messing about on the river. If you take my advice, there's nothing so nice as messing about on the river. There are longboats and short boats and all sorts of craft, and cruisers and keelboats and some with no draft. So take off your coat and hop in a boat. Go messing about on the river. There are boats made from kits that reach you.
People who would like to use the centre can either contact the centre by phone. We have a minicom here which deaf users can actually contact us through, or indirectly through the School for the Deaf in Derby. The prime emphasis of the centre is always on young people, children and young people, and we wouldn't like to deviate from that too much. But obviously, if we feel that an adult group fits into the aims and objectives which we hold for the centre, then we would welcome adult groups with open arms.
I like it here. It's really interesting. There's sports, snooker, lots of other things that you can play. You know, canoeing, orienteering, football, cricket, basketball, and lots of other things, you know, that you can choose to play. I like canoeing. I really like this club. Rock climbing, it was really, really difficult. It was slippy and my hands are really cold. I really like it here, and I'd like to join again. At 12 o'clock, we all had our sandwiches and our crisps, but they were all smashed. They were all in the bag, and the bag had been smashed about, and they were all smashed to bits.
We've tried to make the building as user-friendly as possible. So for groups who have maybe severe learning difficulties, coming into a new building, it's always a bit daunting. So we've colour-coded all the doors. We've got blue and red dormitories, which means that if they're in blue, they know they can find their way around. Yellow is open access for everybody, and orange is staff only. They're a good bunch of lads.
Since November, when we launched the video caption reader on See Here, although a lot of people are delighted with it, we have had letters and phone calls reporting difficulties in setting up the reader and problems with tapes. I've had a bit of a problem myself. Now, the NCI has appointed a British representative, Miles Moriarty, and he's come to give us some answers to your problems. Now, if I want to buy a caption reader, what do I do?
Okay, the first thing we need to establish is exactly what connectors you have on your television and video, because different televisions and different videos have different connectors. So
Right.
when you go to the store to purchase the video caption reader, you need to find out beforehand which connectors you need. And when you go into the shop, the dealer should have a diagram there, so you can just check before you purchase the decoder what connectors you need. Okay, now then, the most popular connector on the video is called the SCART connector, which we have one here. Okay, so that plugs into the video player. Now then, we're taking a signal out of the video player into the caption reader. Okay, so of the 4 cables that come out, we want the 2 that are marked out. Okay, 1 audio out and 1 video out, which we have here. Okay, so the signal comes out into the caption reader. So we plug these to where it says in. Okay, now then, some televisions have got SCART as well, like this one here. Okay, so using a second SCART that we purchased at the shop, we connect it up in a similar fashion.
Right.
Okay, again we've got 4 leads, but this time we're taking the signal into the television. So we want the 2 leads that are marked in. So that's audio in and video in, which we have here. Okay, so these plug to the sockets marked out on the caption reader. Okay, so we've got a signal going from the video player into the caption reader, and then we've got a signal going out of the caption reader into the TV.
Okay.
Right. Now then, we've got that completed. So if we come to the television itself. Okay, now that we've connected with SCART, we can switch to the TV. Now then, when you're using SCART on your TV, you have to press a special button on your remote control. Now then, this button is different on different television sets, so you'll have to check your owner's manual to find out exactly which one is on your remote control. But typically they're called either AV or EXT for external, or sometimes, as on this one, there's an arrow going into a circle. Okay, so when we press this button, see, there we go, caption's working.
Oh, that's it. But my television doesn't have a SCART connector, so what should I do?
Yeah, that's true. What you find is on older television sets, they haven't got SCART connectors. They've only got the old RF connector, the aerial connector. So using a connector in the box, you can connect into the aerial socket from the video caption reader, which we've already set up. Now then, when you are using the aerial socket, just like television programs, you have to tune your TV into the video caption reader. So if we choose, say, channel 5, okay, there's no picture there, but if we switch the test signal on the back of the decoder, now then we can tune the TV into that test signal. Okay, so you can see here that we've got 2 white bars, and that's the test signal that's coming from the decoder.
Right.
Okay, so when we've got that solved, we can switch the test signal off on the back of the decoder, and there you go.
Now, perhaps you're aware that sometimes people will go along to the shops and hire a video, only to find that when they get home there's no subtitles there. Why does that happen?
Okay, what happens is when a video company decides to caption a particular title, they ask NCI to make up the captions in the States. Now NCI delivers these captions on a PAL master, which is the British Video Master. Now then, the video company takes that master copy, which they check to be working, and give it to their duplicators, who make all the thousands of copies that you see in the shops. Now then, this is where some of the problems have occurred. The duplicators have made errors, and so the videos that have gone out, some of them haven't got captions on.
Now, some viewers have said that the reader caused a poor picture on the screen. Why does that happen?
That will happen when they're using the aerial socket from the video caption reader to the TV. and what they're seeing is some channel interference from another station. Now then, if somebody has that problem, then there is a helpline that they can phone up, an address they can write to for an NCI helpline, and I'd advise somebody to do that.
Thank you very much, Miles. Now, if you have any queries concerning your video caption reader, you can contact the NCI at this address. NCI, Thurston House, 80 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, PE1 2SN. That's NCI, Thurston House, 80 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, PE1 2SN.
These shots of the Merseyside Fire Brigade are from a film called Signs of Fire. It's made by Silent View, a video project based at the Merseyside Centre for the Deaf. It came about when a fireman from Merseyside Fire Brigade approached them with the idea of making a video about the service. Here with me in the studio is Barry Kerwin, manager of Silent View, and the presenter, Gillian Fitzgibbon. Hello.
Hello.
Right, so Barry, the video you have now, Signs of Fire, I mean, what's it actually being used for? What are you doing with it? Well, there's a man called Keith Howard who works in the fire brigade himself. He learned some sign language. And he realised that deaf people just don't have access to information. He thought that was important. We should, fire prevention and so on. So he came to Silent View and said, why don't you make a video explaining how to protect yourself in the house and what to do in case of fire. And we thought that at the same time it was a good opportunity for deaf people and them to work together. They'd never done it before. And it was a new way of working together. So we learned two things, how to make a video and also how to give out important information. Now, Barry, tell me, what does Silent View mean exactly? Well, Silent View was set up to try and give deaf people access to videos and video technology. And it was started because I saw television developing and I wanted to be sure that deaf people could make their own programs and have access to things like community channels and access to technology. That's why we set it up, basically. Now, Gillian, I mean, what did you feel like being a presenter on camera? I mean, that was a bit more English than you do with me, which has been BSL.
Well, I think it's mainly because of the script. It had precise English there, and I had to try and translate that into BSL, and I found that quite difficult. And that's probably why I was signed differently.
So, right, will you be on camera again? Do you think it'll be a way you can improve it?
Oh, I'm sure next time will be much better. This time I'm going to research how to actually translate things, to stick to the same meaning, but sign it in BSL.
So is that the first time you've actually gone through the whole process and made a video like that?
That's right, it is the first time.
Yes, but the interesting thing too is that the Merseyside County Council people came up to us, the social workers, and asked if we could make a video in BSL. Because they're making a leaflet for distribution, which obviously is in English and other languages. And they've now got this new thinking where we could do one in BSL on video for deaf people. And it's as if they've kind of just realised that deaf people have needs too. Okay, Gillian, what do you think the benefits of the video are?
Well, I feel I've learnt a great deal. I mean, I thought, oh, it's nothing to stand in front of a camera and sign. It'd be simple. But gosh, when it happened and I was in that situation, I realised with the fire brigade video that, I mean, I was wearing different clothes all the time, and really I should have kept the same clothing to look professional. So I need a lot more experience, obviously.
Thank you very much. Now, if you're interested in having hands-on experience and have the chance to have access to video technology, get in touch with us. Now here's Jack with details of a competition.
It's the time of the year when awards are being given to people who have been the best in their field during the last 12 months. Now, instead of just reading about awards this year, you can get involved and possibly even attend the awards ceremony. There are 2 awards, one given by the Royal National Institute for Deaf People, the other by the See Here magazine. This second one is called the Deaf Impact Award, and it will go to the person who has made the greatest national impact in the field of deafness, someone who has contributed significantly to the lives of deaf people. Last year's winner was Austin Reeves for his work to improve access to television for deaf people. I had the pleasure of presenting it to him. The other award from the RNID is for the Communicator of the Year. It will go to a person in public life who has conveyed their message effectively to a target audience, who have shown a good understanding of their chosen subject and used their skills to benefit other people. Last year, the award was won jointly by Oliver Sacks, who wrote a book about deaf language and culture called Seeing Voices, and the television comedian Lenny Henry, especially for his work on comic relief.
I'm a man of very few words. One of them is toast, one of them is huge bulging leather codpiece. I'm really honoured to receive this award, the Communicator of the Year. It means a great deal to me. And as Steve Martin, the famous American film star, once said, some of us have a way with words, some of us, oh, not have way. Seriously, I'm very pleased to receive this award, and all I can say is thank you. Thank you.
If you know someone who you think ought to win these awards, send in your nominations. You have a chance to be at the ceremony in a top London hotel in May, because 3 lucky names will be drawn from a bag, and they'll win a night to remember. Nominations for both awards, giving reasons for your choices, should be sent to Deaf Impact Awards, See Here magazine, RNID, 105 Gower Street, London, WC1E 6AH. If you subscribe to See Here magazine, you'll find a nomination form in the next issue. Well, maybe we'll see you at the ceremony.
Next Sunday is Valentine's Day, and See Here has plans to get the romantics among you into the right mood with some poetry. Until then, goodbye.